Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. And yes, we will not be having as many problems as last episode.
You're gonna jinx it.
Well, we've already started without problems, so there's that part that's done. So,
Pretty better.
but yeah, so if you don't want to watch Dungeons and Dragons without technical difficulties, then maybe this is not your stream. You'll have suggestions either to the right or to the left. Pick one. For everyone else who actually wants to be here because they like Dungeons and Dragons, because they like streams without technical difficulties, because they like watching one of us. Who knows? No. I'm sure we're starting to get fans. I'm sure. None of them have ever wrote
Unfortunately,
me.
I think only like 2 of us are single, so.
So,
We already stopped in the chat.
I've yet to meet someone who believes that being a dungeon master is sexy. So, but let's move on.
That's 5 innuendos just immediately. But go on, yes.
You just wanted us to know how much you're holding back.
Oh, goodness. Now, let's get moving before we start doing jokes, which could have a weird ending. So, and that's about everything I had to say. If you enjoyed the thunderstorm while you were waiting, ambient mixer, you have all the information below, and that's about every publicity we can make. Yeah. So, let's get started. So, what happened last episode? Here we go. The party decided to start its negotiation with the Cristal monster. Negotiation were rough, as even the toughest combatant of the group was nearly brought down by the powerful argument of the creature. Nevertheless, the problem was eventually settled, and the party even found itself with a few more bits of rare crystals to add to their collection. With this quest apparently completed, the party is now finally free to take a few days, and every time I say this, someone finds a quest within the next 4 hours, to rest a little bit before the events, which audience is very impatient. What's that? There's a... that's not my music.
Parking a truck in someone's house.
There's a tractor in the audio.
Oh, you're talking about my fan?
Oh,
yes.
Goodness.
Yeah, definitely your fan.
It's hot.
Sounds like a train.
Turn on push to talk.
Wow.
I got it.
The dwarves have suddenly added a lot of machinery in their mind.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the deeper you get into a mine, the more dangerous it gets. We can't just keep sending humanoids down there, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Let's send people like Fisher. And so we come back as the party now needs to figure out if there's more danger about, and probably it's scheduled for the next few days, as we still have a few of them who wants to do at least something before the big event of the end of the month. I believe Fisher wants to spend a little bit of time in the major city to ask some questions, and Remy has some shopping to do, which he's been pushing back for nearly a month. So, I believe if we go back to exactly where we were, you are currently inside of a large dugout room filled with crystals on the side, with a, sorry audience for saying this, with a slightly nauseating smell slowly filling the room as the toilet which has been blown to bits is slowly spreading all of its interesting content on the floor. Good, yeah, good stomach. But that's about it. Remy sifting through the pile of crystals and few bits of not crystals from the creature. And I think that's about it. The audience has just found more dusts and shards, which he has shared with Fisher and Tobiashi. But I think that's exactly where we left off. And only takes a few moments before you start seeing dwarves entering the room again.
Rainy puts the bloodhound dagger back into its space.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that was said.
No problem. No problem at all. Alright, so Remy discreetly puts back the dagger inside of its storage space, and dwarves start entering. You have those who are a bit more secure with their ability to survive or run fast. Get closer to the group and... Oh, is that done? Is that all there is to it?
That's a good question.
I don't know. We could check the machinery.
Yeah. I checked the machine. Does it look done?
The machine itself seems to have stopped. You're not sure if it's supposed to have stopped there or if it's damaged in some way.
Nothing hit it, right?
Well, there are bits of crystals everywhere because the creature did torpedo itself across the room several times, and there was a bit of the unpleasant moment where the bathroom exploded, and could have been hit by something small if it was, but could have.
Could Raimi look for any apparent damage?
Yeah, sure. Make an investigation roll.
And since I activated my lantern at the end of last time anyway, I'll just roll that at it.
Yeah.
Because that thing lasted 10 minutes.
The combat lasted 25 seconds, so...
When I look at it, does it say disabled over it? No.
Anyway. Could be better. 15.
15, alright. Well, you're not sure about higher functions of this thing, but its basic function, analyzing the crystal that you saw emitting a lot of these tendril of energy, seems to be okay. There's no crack. Could be a security protocol preventing it from keep going if something bad happens, or a type of damage that you can't identify. You're not sure. The device is slightly alien for you as you're watching this. If you take a moment to think about it, it's normal that it looks a bit alien. They seem to be quite a good deal further than you in arcane knowledge.
Did this one come with a readout? Like the last machine that we played around with, or
Well, yes, but this one took so much more information. You're not exactly sure how to recall exactly what you want. You might have to just reactivate it and look through all of the data it got one line at a time.
I mean, Raimi just does because he would try to see like the machine reactivated, but like basically because the machine hasn't moved and presumably no condition has changed minus the attack. So if there's any difference in the processing, then that would more or less determine whether that attack had any effect on its readings or not.
Like I
Because
said,
then they wouldn't be identical.
yeah. Well, like I said, with a 15, you can easily look at the average function of it and a few of the higher functions, but the really complex one and probably some of the more fine details that are written in there would probably escape how you'd be able to understand this. But just like this, doesn't appear to be damaged, and there is a crystal that you could start digging through the data it got, and who knows, maybe you'll find that there is something wrong or not. But it's like giving you a phone book and saying, well, here you go. There might be a wrong phone number in there. One wrong phone number.
In which case, Raimi, I think, would regardless just reactivate the machine and have it do an analysis again, regardless.
Okay.
In the event that it was damaged or just simply was interrupted, just so that they have the data for the area.
Okay. While Remy is doing this, there's been an investigation roll and a lot of trying to figure out the machine. Is there anything the others would like to do? Dwarves have a lot of questions. You hear some dwarves. Of course, audience and Tobiyashi can slightly audience can understand very well. Tobiyashi has the transcript version of what they're saying. It's mostly worries about, is this going to happen again? And some saying, yeah, sure, it happened just as they were arriving. There's no coincidence there, I'm sure. Some of them are just worried that a creature like this might appear in another shaft and just start hunting them. But this is the general worries that you're getting from how they're talking amongst themselves, and a bit looking at all of you slightly suspiciously.
Can I look at where it appeared?
Yeah. It appeared 25 seconds ago, so
Yeah.
you mostly remember where it happened.
Really, I want to see if it if I can determine if it came if it was already here and woke up or something, or if it came from another shard and just happened to there's just a crack in the wall or something.
Okay. You'd have two options for this, either investigation or arcane. Investigation would just give you the physical element? Does the wall appear to have its shape when it came out? Did it came out of the wall? Are there elements which feels strange? Arcane would be to look at it from a more magical point of view. Maybe there is a higher concentration of magic in this. Maybe there was interaction with the energy of the machine. So I'll let you decide which role you want to make.
I am gonna go for Arcana because that's what Terranad's helping me with right
Okay.
now.
I don't know if you guys ever seen the old Lego miners, but that's kind of all I'm imagining right now. Is those the crystal monster things?
It's been a while. Lego miners.
Uh-huh.
I am gonna use my lucky coin.
Crystal monsters. Jordan
That I-
would also want to investigate it because he wants to know more of like, did someone create it or
So you want to investigate where it came from or the remains?
the remains?
The remains, yeah. Yeah, of course you can. You'd probably be able to choose between investigation, just to determine physical element of it. There would be clues as to see if this thing was a creature that came out, or maybe nature, as this would, if it's a creature that has been living here and was attracted, there would be signs of this having lived and done things.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'll do the nature, and I'll have Frel, my dog, help by sniffing around and doing more close to the ground investigations.
How would it be helping you? What would it be? What would it be sniffing for exactly?
Oh, that is a good question.
Because I don't mind you getting help from him. I
But-
just need to know what he's gonna do to help you.
Uh-huh.
All he's gonna smell is shit right now.
He doesn't smell shit, so
No.
he can smell.
Dogs have a sharper
No.
sense of smell. Can
But like what?
he
Dog-
smell
Yeah,
shard
Oh,
stuff?
that could be
They have
something.
a smell, right?
The
Doug,
well, yes and no. To determine something that comes from another plane, I keep saying that you smell it, but it's more of an intuition smell. But if it's been in different places, yes, he might be able to get those scents, different minerals, different. Yes, that would work, and he would not smell shit.
So I got one better with my lucky coin. So that's gonna be a 16.
16, all right. And Terranad? No Terranad?
That's with Terranad.
Okay.
Without Terranad, that's a 13.
13, all right. So you start looking through this, the wall itself, trying to figure out, all right, well, how does this work? You yourself, you feel a little bit clueless, and you have this moment of, this is a bit weird, this is a bit out of my depth. And then you hear the presence of Terranad starting to formulate something, and you have the moment of, oh damn, he noticed something and I didn't. Well, yes, definitely. You have this moment of, oh damn, and it is confirmed. Just hear his voice go, so, are you looking with your eyes opened?
I can't close my eyes, Taranad. You know that.
I feel like there might be some problem with how your eyes work. I mean, sometimes you say they're open, but they just don't see anything.
I'll look into it.
He recently saw the movie Eyes Wide Shut and thought it sounded like a great idea.
You know, sometimes I just like to not see things so that you can feel like you're being helpful.
Oh, wow. I'll make sure your friends knows this the next time you fall unconscious. I'm sure they're going to be very reassured. Well, it's apparent.
Wait, so you're telling me Fisher hasn't blinked this whole time?
How would he blink?
He's got no eyelids.
He's a robot.
I don't know. I was thinking like you
You
had
see
like
the art,
like
right?
wooden little eye things, you know?
Or like those little
Little shutters,
Yeah,
like camera
Yeah,
shutters.
camera lenses.
So when he's looking at this, he says, well, it's not... It's a bit difficult because there appears to be some strange interaction with this device. And, you know, he's talking about the scanning equipment. But it's apparent that it woke something up. As if a fragment of was brought back to life. Much like if something inside of your body just got reanimated and it was something that helps your body fights off a disease. I know this is a strange concept for you, but talk to the others. They know more about disease.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
So essentially
So,
what
like-
he's saying is that this might actually have been the equivalent of a white blood cell.
Mm-hmm. From like
Oh,
The
the
entity.
remains of the green dragon or whatever that died here, or
Copper
no,
dragon.
whatever.
Green.
Copper
God.
Yeah.
This would be a very different cave.
Yeah. Or from something else.
Who knows? You've never heard about that cave, that place is the first time you've ever heard about a dragon petrifying into something that becomes part of the landscape, which also means that the dragon was so large it covered a mountain.
Alright. That's interesting. No chance we're gonna wake up the rest of it, right?
Who knows? This is-
Wait, so are we inside a dragon?
That's the original hypothesis that the party made.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's no way to tell. I've never been inside of a petrified dragon before.
Well,
Maybe you should tell Remy to stop touching those buttons.
yeah.
No, keep touching them.
Hey, Ramy, can we stop the machine for a sec? Taranad seems to think it either awoke or reanimated something. And that might happen again.
I want to imagine it's like Raimi was just like absent-mindedly with his claws, just like going through the motions from earlier, just like, and it's about to like press like, and then you say that's like, just like stops short of the activation button, and just slowly moves his taloned hands away from it.
All right.
But how are we gonna know if we don't activate it? I
Yeah, we
don't
could
wanna
run a
Well,
risk
we
test.
could. I would like to take a quick break first.
Yeah, that's a
But I
good
could
idea. We've got
deal
one
with
more
it.
explosive thing, don't we?
And we
Why
talk
would we
about the
wanna
bomb
set that up?
again. It's been a while.
It solves all problems.
Raimi pulls out a dagger and puts it in George's direction.
Okay, fine.
Oh no, sorry, it's not a dagger, but it's a very familiar looking knife.
It's a knife he used to stab Tobiashi quite hard,
Oh
and
no.
it didn't
Oh
cause
no,
any
not that
damage.
one.
Yeah, it's shaped like a butter knife.
But the
But it's
pain was
not.
there. It's just that it didn't actually leave any damage. What about?
So I'd be down to take a short rest and then boot it up again to see if that does happen.
Is there
That would
like a
be-
progress bar on it, like of how much it's analyzed?
I was about to say, when I look at when I look at it with my mask on, what is it saying anything, or is it just off? It's not projecting anything anymore.
Make a little investigation roll. There are a lot of different displays, a lot of different moving parts and crystals. While you're making your roll, Jorg, you made a roll, if I'm not mistaken, for...
That was the nature roll.
Okay.
I did it with advantage, but I wasn't sure if I got advantage.
No, that's okay.
That's
I
a
got a
7.
17,
17, alright.
but he kind of figured out everything I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Basically, I was curious if someone made it, and if someone did, it turns out it's like the red blood or the white blood cell defense mechanism.
Well, the only thing that would seems slightly strange for you while looking at this is that it doesn't seem to have had a physical form until it manifested itself. So maybe its essence is just floating in there, and it took shape. That's the only
Okay.
information you'd get more than everything else.
All right.
I rolled a 7.
There's so much
Machine.
information in there. You look at this, and it appears to have detected a whole lot of mineral. There's this weird thing that you're not sure. Your mask is trying to translate this, but it just doesn't make much sense. You get the feeling that this is the kind of things that make sense to someone when they know what it refers to, but you're just looking at this and it's sort of a message saying anomalous reading,
Okay, I'll tell everyone else that.
exotic particle
um,
detected.
Whoa.
Gotta probe deeper, boys.
Badass, not gonna lie.
Why don't we call the dude?
While we rest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright,
sounds good.
I'll pull out my orb and sit down to rest.
Yeah.
I'll call the man.
All right. So
He's not actually a man, but I will call him.
he's some sort of construct. He looks like a knight. You have to give it that, although his armor is not that of a knight in shining armor, but the feel of it is a bit knightly. The helm and the general shape it has. It takes a moment. Usually it answers quickly, but Garthane seems to be taking its time to answer. takes a full minute, and then... Oh, sorry. I thought it was those voices again. Sorry, I was distracted a bit.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Keep getting
I was
that
just-
echo. It's so weird.
Yeah, that is weird. You should probably bring that to the attention of... See if anyone else is getting it. I haven't got it, but maybe someone else has. You should maybe bring it up to somebody in case
I'll
there's a problem.
probably try to get my device examined. Probably just try and unscrew my head. Be easier.
How do we know when it's done scanning? Like, when does it tell us? What are we looking for to know when it's done scanning?
Well, usually it has a good range, so I don't know. How long has it been scanning? I'd say it should be probably try and pierce through everything. I don't know, you're inside of a wall, you're inside of a rock, stone, crystals, probably a little bit of mineral, the odd deposits of some things. I don't know, I think you're looking at least half an hour of solid evaluation.
Okay. How long was it scanning before the fight started?
Maybe 10 minutes at most.
10 minutes. So we got about 20, we've got about, well, not quite 20, because it would be low. We have 17 more minutes or so to go, right?
Something like
I'll be
that.
I'll be cool, thanks.
Wait. Tell them about the minerals.
Oh yeah, there was a mineral monster that appeared when we started scanning. It might actually be related to the scans. It was interesting. We defeated it. But...
Oh.
And then the material stuff and anomaly detected that I told you about, all that other stuff,
Oh yeah, it detected an anomaly and minerals.
Okay. Hold on. I'm not in front of my console.
Come here.
Give me a moment.
Let me turn on my PC real quick.
You
He is a
hear
PC.
you hear a few things sliding.
Get off your gaming tab, man. Stop gaming.
Stop playing Valorant, bro. Come
Look,
on, you're never getting
Look,
silver.
it takes a while to turn on my Windows Vista, right?
No. If it was
on the
that,
monitor.
it would never be working. You can't do this. No. You can't run an entire ship on Windows. You're gonna
Yeah, I
crash
did this
it
shit.
repeatedly.
I think they have moved past Windows Vista. Technological advancement.
Oh,
I think they moved
They landed on the moon
past
without it.
Windows. Period.
Here, dial up.
It takes a moment. You hear a few things sliding, and then suddenly starts sounding a lot like glass or... Okay, hold on. Here we go. Interesting minerals. Cascade reaction. That's interesting.
I gotta get out of this room. It smells like shit.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Is that
I'm
part
gonna
of the
go
crystals?
upstairs.
No, there was a latrine in here that the creature exploded
Oh,
when we were fighting it.
well, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm sure one of the gnomes would love hearing that full story. All right, hold on here.
The gnomes again.
Scanning interrupted. Okay. Apparently there is some sort of reaction. Oh, that's interesting. The energy is reacting with the environment.
We can let the
Karanad
figure that out.
suggested what we fought may have been something akin to a defense, like a immune defense system that got reanimated.
Interesting. So there might still be dormant awareness in this. That's intriguing. Oh, that's scary in some ways, but exhilarating when you think about this. I mean, imagine you extract a gem and there's an awareness inside of it. I mean, you can do a whole lot of things with gems like this. Okay, but it does mean that we have to be more careful about this. Didn't expect that. Oh, then again, don't meet a whole lot of dragons like this outside of our realm. Okay. Hold on there for a little while. I'll leave a note for Dares. He's probably going to get to you within the, I don't know, next half an hour, maybe an hour at most. I'm gonna bring a few more devices to add, make sure that the energy is filtered properly. I mean, you wouldn't want to have the entire cave reanimate itself and start pulverizing you, you know? Or the whole thing start filling up with acid and then realizing that you're actually in the stomach. Oh, wouldn't that be weird? You're not in a round, empty place, aren't you?
Maybe overhearing this is just kind of like slowly edging himself further away from the machine.
Jorg wants to sleep outside the cave.
I'm sure there's no problem. I'm sure there's no problem. You know, you're not walking in acid right now. So even if you were in the creature's stomach right now, don't worry about it. It's been dead for a while. Well, actually, it's not dead. The spirit just kept on evolving. It's just the body that's there. But it's just...
Yeah, would you sleep in it?
I've slept in worse place.
Okay.
You ever been stuck in a giant turtle?
No.
Took me a month and a half to get out.
How long?
A month and a half.
Wow. I assume I would have suffocated by then.
It's a good thing I don't breathe.
Yeah. You.
I mean, we're not sleeping down here.
Well, that's really up to you. Don't worry about it. I'm not interfering in that part of your biological process.
No. All right. Well, we'll just hang out here until we get the new equipment.
All right.
Got a short rest anyway. So I don't know what short rest. We need to take a break real quick. Anyway.
You need a short rest.
Yeah, you can say you're gonna take a short rest, but you can't say that you take short rest.
You gotta emphasize the space.
I gotta get my key points back. Let me take a short rest real quick, guy.
It's a half an hour meditation. It's what's written for the monk.
Right. I will start leaving where it smells until it doesn't smell anymore, and then go meditate outside of the area of effect.
Yeah, sure. If you see, just to be sure, I know if you see one exit or at least two exits which are a bit larger than the others, maybe not go in that one until we figure out that everything's fine. Because, you know, one leads from the mouth of the dragon to the stomach, and the other one, well, you know, it leads... So, I'm going to leave you with this. Very interesting. Thank you very much for having taken the time to warn me about this. And it's a good thing you didn't just carefree reactivated everything and thought nothing would happen. It's a good precaution. All right.
Looks over to Remy.
Who's still stepping back. All right, keep me informed.
We will.
You
Unless we
see,
die.
you see the image fading away just as you see the head of card thing. He just pops his head off and starts looking inside. There's no face under it. It's just, he looks like the headless horseman looking inside of his helmet. Just, oh, maybe there's a problem.
Wait, but then where does he see from? Man, those garden constructs are built weird.
You have a dwarf that was looking at you and all this in conversation. You see him just slowly turn in your direction. Can you do that?
I wish.
I mean, if he tried hard enough.
Nah, my head's left my
Anyone
body
can.
multiple times. So that it doesn't end well.
You hear the dwarf
The lights go out
multiple.
pretty quick.
Yeah, okay.
Mm,
Well, yeah, depends on how you view time.
Yeah, because there are so many ways of looking at this. All right.
What do you know? You just dig stuff. Get out of here. We're busy.
All right. All right. Jeez. Not because you hear him as you're leaving, as you hear him go outside of your earshot, and probably within the earshot of Remy and audience. Jeez. Doesn't he feel a bit testy when he's confronted with someone who can do something he can't? He goes away. Alright. So, the dwarves slowly come back. They're a bit cautious, looking at all of you. You get one who just arrives and looks at you, audience. So, are you sure it's not gonna happen again?
Not unless we probably reactivate the machine, and we're getting equipment that should solve that within an hour.
So you're sure it's not... He gestures toward your group. It's that thing.
I mean, 100% sure no, but
how
like
much mining have
70
they done
or 80, yeah.
in here?
Technically, because it's also a response, there's a chance that if it's been reactivated and you guys keep mining, it will respond to you, but,
So what you're saying is that you might have just made everything dangerous.
What's life without a little danger?
Profitable one?
A safe one.
Boring one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because who wants to live? He leaves.
What does it mean to live anyway?
All right. Stop talking to me. I'm praying. I'll set to the door. And then I'll during my short rest do some praying and meditation, since I'm in the similar spot to where the sun god first contacted me.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Big cum god.
This is actually...
The sun god.
All right. Make... Well... Are you trying... What exactly are you trying to... Just make contact with this entity?
I don't know if necessarily make contact. I'm just kind of, I'm in a spot nearby. I'm reaching out. I'm hey, this is where you
I'm in
first
the
call.
area. If you're around.
I'm in the
No.
area.
All right,
Hit
so-
me up for a good time. Numbers 97.
So you're in some way trying to contact, to connect with this being. Okay. Make a charisma roll.
Alright, give me taking my short rest. Or actually I'll do this first. Charisma. Charisma is
It's so weird looking at the background that we have on right now.
Like I not find charisma. There it
What?
is. Alright.
Are you still looking at the fish one?
Yeah, it's still on there for me.
Okay,
Oh.
not for me.
A 9.
9? Oh, wow, you're a bit distracted. It's probably too shiny inside. Or it's the smell of the poop.
I'm also not exactly sure I want to contact it.
It's sort of a reluctant... Hey...
Yeah, it's a very like, I'm here, but if you're doing things, I'm not here to bother you either.
Like,
Yeah, you
just
gotta
call it
talk
to
to
tell
the
you
sun god at
inside of
night.
you.
He's
Like, you're not
busy right
actually
now.
my god, but you seem to have an interest in me, so if you have anything you want to tell me, I'm here, but...
Why does this sound like a very awkward, like a rom-com situation? Like where it's like, the main guy is just like, approaching her. So it's like, hey, so I'm here. It's like you take that what you will, but it's like I'm if you need me, I'm right here.
I remember last time we spoke, you said if I was in the area, I could contact you, and I'm here now, so...
And so the first thing that the other person says, "Oh, I'm so grateful you're here. What can you tell me about Steve?" Damn it.
Always Steve. God damn it, Steve.
Okay. You take your time meditating. You try to contact with this, but you all can also sense your own hesitation. You try, and you don't hear anything consciously yet. Yes. But it feels oddly calm while you're in here. It's... I don't know. It's like... if you could try and imagine being in your egg again, there's something that would be familiar with this situation. Just before you broke it down and then ate half of the shell because there was some protein left in this. And but there's this element of calm, but also there's some... after you feel this calm and this comfort, this slight warmth. It's a little higher than usual, but not unpleasant. You start feeling just a little bit anxious, but you don't know where it's coming from. But this is where your meditation would end. For the rest of you, while Tobiashi is meditating, recovering its key point, audience trying to commune with gods, for Jorg, Fisher, and Remy, just, looking at one another and, yeah.
I'm just fixing, let's just pull in numerous little crystal bits out of myself constantly.
Okay, hold on. This one is a bit bigger. Oh, wow, that's the size of a knife.
I want to check on everyone, make sure they're not still hurt pretty bad. I don't want to use all my spell slots, but I do have some to spare.
Short rest got me back to full.
Yeah.
Along with my lay on. Well, I had to lay on hands for 30. I healed
I
myself.
just used the healer's kit and hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
He just pulled out a knife-size shard of crystal from just under his shoulder joint.
I'm still kind of hurt.
Tobiashi is still meditating, not doing any sound, but you are noticing that there's a little pool of blood that's amassing itself near where his arm should be. You look at this and okay, there's blood dripping off of his elbow.
We're taking a short rest. You could use hit dice.
I did wait. How many hit dice can I use?
Up to half your
1, 2?
your maximum. So you have a total of 7 hit dice. 2 hit dice are d10s and 5 hit dice are d8 because of your multi-classing.
A minute. I'll let you know if I'm still hurt.
You add your con mod to each one.
Don't forget that part. You have no idea how many players I've ever run into who keep forgetting that part.
Jorgen's feeling pretty good now.
That gave you all the checkup, so you can use your dice. Because I just realized that Orunak does have
Alright, I'm good.
medicine, so as a proficiency. So he can always help you use your hit dice at a rest. And he's got a pretty good proficiency modifier, so...
I mean, honestly,
So
because
just 4 hit
Remy
points
has
off.
nothing to worry about at present because he's fine right now. He'll just take some extra time to identify stuff he still hasn't looked at yet.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You have half an hour, apparently, because Tobiashi's meditating right now.
And we're waiting for Craig or whatever his name is to get here.
Craig.
Day
Let's see,
rest.
where did I put the note about the spoils?
Alright.
Should have had it up previously.
I believe... Alright, so potions have been...
All the potions have been identified. The scrolls have been identified. I know that... Oh, the short sword, I know, is something that came off as magical, but don't know what that is.
Okay. Shield has been done, I believe, because Mayor Remy had to make an entire... Oh yeah, of course, and there are
Yeah, it's
some
fine.
other valuables from before.
Yeah, that's why I said it's like it's a long list, but I was taking
Okay.
care of the stuff more immediately relevant to the party.
So, you'd have
'Cause,
time
like,
to...
but yeah, all that's left from the spoils from the fight is that short sword, and then everything else is from before.
All right. So, you have time to identify 2 things. And if people want to wait for you, 3.
I'd wait. I got nothing
I think
better.
we're just waiting in general, so.
Unless that guy comes back, then unless you
Yeah, that
ask
guy-
me to wait, I'm not going to.
Yeah, Craig.
So, first 10 minutes go by, and what does Remy identify? The short sword or something else?
We'll do the short sword just so we can close the book on that particular
Okay.
chapter of identification.
After 10 minutes, the short sword appears to be mostly normal, except that it has a +2 bonus. So it is a
Okay, so
short
that
sword
guy
+2.
was really looking to stab.
Well, that was his purpose. Until he got pulverized.
Well, it's just
by-
like because like this guy also had like the studded leather +2.
Yeah, I don't know. He was. He had. I believe he had also he was the one who was wearing the ring of protection. I think. So he had a pretty good armor. All right, so Remy finishes this, and a bit ahead of time, you hear this footstep coming from one of the shaft that you associate with the exit. And you see one of the wardens arriving. You all know that there is one who can actually leave the garden. His name is Dayrez.
Craig.
He arrives, walking with his usual composure. I believe you needed this device to be added to the analyzing equipment.
What he said.
Yeah.
Alright, give me a...
Did he tell you how to install it? Set it up?
Wait, how'd you get here so fast?
You're meditating.
Oh. I thought that in my head.
Okay.
He's having a hard time meditating.
Yeah.
Dayrez has shown he has probably abilities which help him move quite easily. Because with your collective knowledge of him tells you that he is able to escape any of you. Remy tried running after him when he met him the first time, and he just lost track of him. He's got good moving abilities. When you ask if he knows how to install this, well, of course, it's not complicated. It's just a little process.
They just called you dumb. How do you feel about that?
You're meditating.
This is out of game.
No, that's Terranad.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's Terranad. Terranad's like, personally, I wouldn't take that if I was you. But, you know.
No, Terranad's take on this would probably be... I think I agree with him. You're a bit slow. So he arrives next to the device, takes out the crystals. He makes a bunch of hand gesture in front of it and on it, whispers something in a language that doesn't even translate on your mask. But I'm pretty sure you're not wearing your mask while you're meditating.
Yeah, my mask is off. It ended.
And then he lets go of the crystal, and then suddenly the crystals breaks into 3 parts. They all start floating around one another, and then they reassemble itself on the device. And I believe this should be sufficient to filter out any energy discharge, which should make this little endeavor more dangerous. Well, I'll leave you to your quest, as you call it. And he turns around and walks out of the room slowly.
I bet the language he was speaking was C++ and he was programming.
The arcane version of it, maybe. Alright.
We don't have to fight more of those. I was kind of worried we'd just have to fend those off every once in a while, but that'd be brutal.
If you hadn't stopped Remy, maybe you would have. And again, audience thinks, no, why?
But just like so many more shards I could have gotten.
Alright, so now Remy has time to analyze one more object.
Since it was the one that he didn't initially notice, the box with the silk ribbon seemed to have been unexpectedly magical.
Yeah, alright. The ribbon does... If it's the one you're identifying... I haven't made it in D&D Beyond because I just want to make sure that no one goes looking at it, because this one is worth noticing if you see it appearing. Something I made, but it's you look at the ribbon, and after analyzing the different component of it, please don't start singing it. Singing something relating to it. You get the name of it is a safety ribbon. And no, please don't dance. It's a consumable object.
Wait, what?
Safety dance.
Yeah. It's a consumable
Safety
object,
dance.
meaning it's going to burn itself off after a single use. But this
Am I too young for that?
Probably.
most likely, but it's still weird you had never heard of it.
And if you want to.
Oh, it's that song. Okay.
But-
Never mind. I know what you're talking about now. I didn't know it was called that.
Yeah. Remy, I just sent you the description of it to Discord. This is what it does if you decide to use it. It's a consumable, just like a potion, so no attunement required. It is quite a powerful object.
The best use of that song, I think, is from In a Knight's Tale. That movie's amazing.
Meditating.
Okay.
So,
And this is like a single use of that
Yes.
single use item?
it will burn
Okay.
itself off after a single use, but the use that it does give you is considerable.
Yep.
And Remy can easily understand why it's called a safety ribbon.
Yeah.
It will be added in the ND Beyond. Which is...
I gotta listen to the song now.
Yep, that is another reason why I keep a side inventory in case it's not on D&D Beyond yet.
I will add it. Don't worry about it. Everything about it has been made. It's even the name.
Yeah.
All right. So after 10 minutes, you see Remy's eye going wide, looking at this ribbon. And next one, well, that's where everyone would need to decide if they wait for you until you identify at least a third thing, because Tobiyashi would finish his meditation while you're making while you're analyzing that third object. But there's not a lot of things left to analyze.
In fact, unless I miswrote things, I think I just have the one thing left. Everything else is mundane or already been identified.
Yeah. That would fit with what I have.
After I'm done meditating, I'm just humming the song now, and nobody knows what it is because they've never heard it before. It came to me while I was
can wait
meditating.
around
Don't
for
worry.
another 10 minutes.
All right.
We could just start.
I'm
we
good,
could
I
also
can-
just
I'll wait.
start the machine again while Remy finishes identifying.
But something
I'd
happens when
rather
we start.
have everybody be ready.
He just said it was safe.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He doesn't know
Well,
what's
yeah,
happening
but he,
here.
It was
he
safe-
also
he was-
didn't say it would be dangerous the first time.
Yeah.
So, and he said he was hearing things.
Yeah, that was theoretical. Don't worry about it.
That was a different guy that was hearing things, wasn't it?
Yes.
Kaharthane
Well, that's
is
the
the
guy
one
that-
hearing echoes in his helmet. Derez is the one that came and gave you this. Derez
Yeah,
looks
Craig
like
is the
one of
one
the warden
fast.
of the garden, always with the long black robe, wearing gloves so you can't see his hand. The hood is always up. And they're as tall as Audience and Fisher. Slightly taller, even. Maybe 1 or 2 inches.
All right. I'm gonna wait.
I can wait to.
Alright, so you start up the machine again?
Oh no, we're waiting for
We'll wait for Randy, I guess.
Raimi to finish identifying.
What's...
Who knows? The last thing might be a crystal creature killer.
Single-use item destroys all of your enemies within a 100-mile radius. All of your
pretty good.
enemies.
Yes! Now you have to ask.
So my question,
Yeah, go ahead.
my question is, do you get to decide who's your enemy before you use it, or?
What I was gonna say was going approximately where that was. I'd have to ask Remy, be honest, who do you think is an ally in the group?
Exactly.
Alright, so, last element to analyze.
The last item is what appears to be, as I've side noted it, a transparent yellow crystal that has a rune etched into it.
Oh, yes. Alright. Where did I write this? Well, this goes back a little while.
Yeah. I've been trying, I swear. There's still stuff in my inventory from nearly a year ago that I haven't been able to go through.
I must have wrote it on a different piece of paper. I can't. Well, a different text file.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, the analysis says, who knows? No.
Raimi, frustrated, just throws the pearl across the room. It shatters, instantly regrets it.
Everything just starts exploding and creatures start falling from the ceiling and no.
More just the equivalent of like throwing your phone across the room when it doesn't do what you want it to.
I can't find it. It had something to do with clouds.
It is the crystal of storm giant strength. You swallow it, and your strength permanently becomes 29.
All right, just so that people. Well, the problem is swallowing it. It's as big as the tangerine.
I bet audience could swallow it.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Interesting. All right. I'll keep looking for it during the break. I don't want to spend 10 minutes looking at my files to find a gem. Okay.
No worries.
But I'll take note that you identified it, and I'll send you the result. It's not as powerful as the ribbon, so you shouldn't have a bigger reaction.
Raimi just finishes the identification, has a very neutral look on his face.
Like he doesn't know what to do with this. He's gonna have to think about it. All right. So.
Hey guys, I have something in my wallet for you.
Okay.
We can't
Oh,
see
you
that.
It's your character.
God damn it. Never mind.
It's your character.
Got him.
That's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, anything
You
that doesn't
show
look
off
like a
your
face.
character.
It,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Jor.
All right. So half an hour went by. The device has started. No, you're about to start the device. So the device is about to be restarted, and Remy has identified what was supposed to be magical. Now everything that still needs to be identified is not magical, and so just a monetary value. All right. So you
all right,
Sorry.
start the machine up again.
Yeah, let's get it done.
All right. You go through the sequence to reactivate it, and the machine doesn't do anything. No, it restarts. It takes just a few moments, and it feels like something's winding up inside or something like this. You hear just and then suddenly it starts analyzing again.
Oh, might as well turn on my mask. What's going on here?
You get a whole bunch of information, molecular analysis of everything around you. You're not sure what half of this means.
I definitely know what
Negative
this means.
b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
It's
I remember this.
It's
I definitely
very
do.
dry, scientific information about everything surrounding this place. The composition of the walls, of the crystals, of the shit on the floor, of some of the dwarf walking through the perimeter in which it can scan. You have this thing, and oh, it's analyzing a dwarf. Isn't that alcohol?
He's 95% alcohol. I'm like, huh. Pretty sure that's supposed to be water, but, you know.
Built different.
They're dwarf. They need that fermentation
What did these
process.
What do these three numbers mean? It seemed like measurements, but
That's so weird. It takes another good 10-20 minutes for the entire process to finish. It does analyze everything. The range of it grows and grows and grows. You even see some of the dwarf, looking at the tendrils of energy just moving away and keep doing their things, trying to stay away from the diameter of energy that's emanating from this thing. And after 20 minutes, it's really just like the end of a movie. There's these tendril of energy, this little arc of energy coming, and wow, it's that's a bit anticlimactic, but okay.
So if it activated one of these things when it was normal, what if we could like amplify it? You think like while it was normal, you think it could like awaken something bigger?
Fisher,
Or-
from inside of you, you hear, I think he's too close to the machine. Maybe it's a better idea if you keep him away from it.
I mean, I think it would awaken more things. Probably that would start, rampaging around the mine, killing a bunch of innocent dwarves. That's
Innocent
why you
dwarf. Okay, yeah.
Sorry? What was that?
Nothing.
What's that
No,
supposed
that
to
was
mean?
nothing. You guys didn't hear anything. That never came out of my mouth. Yeah. We probably shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you let me and Raimi handle the arcane stuff?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Raimi's just kind of like, with one hand, just kind of like casually, just like tossing up one knife and then catching it, tossing it up again, catching it, just watching Tobayashi's hands.
Alright.
I'll just go sit down. I'll go sit down and make sparks with my gloves since I can.
So you're saying you're sitting in the corner doing this?
Yeah,
all ominous and evil like. So very reassuring.
Yeah, just sparks coming off my gloves,
Breaking down the equipment so we could bring it back.
All right. Quite easy to do. Everything just folds back. You unscrew one crystal, put it in a small pocket that's been hanging from it when it was empty a few moments ago. But now, put the crystal back in, wrap everything up. And
the weird part is that we found one more screw than when we started with.
Who's screwing with me? Oh, I lost it. I thought... Never mind.
Oh, sorry. I think that fell out of me when I got hit with those crystals.
That's one of mine.
It's probably not important.
All right, you guys ready to go? This place smells like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get out of here.
You hear a dwarf, no kidding. I wonder whose fault it is.
Raimi has already disappeared.
Oh, it's not my poop.
Yeah, you guys should keep the
I think
latrine
it's
somewhere
your
where
fault
there's
for
not monsters.
making it.
There weren't any monsters before you arrived.
What's your
welcome.
name? I'll ask him in Dwarven. I'll be like, "What's your name?"
You want there to be? Huh?
What's your name?
This dwarf.
Dwarf NPC number 4.
Alright, going with Des, I don't know. He could be called 410.
Orthan.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just be like, I'll be like to him and Darvish. I'll be like, it's good to meet you, Forth. And I'll be sure to mention to what was his name again, the head of this place?
Bram or Batik? Bram being the leader,
Bran.
Batik being
Bran.
the one who...
Yeah, I'll sure to mention to Bran how understanding and kind you were to us. Since we saved his life and helped set up, business venture with him. I'm sure he'll love to know about your kind treatment of us down here. All right, have a good day.
Don't forget, as you're leaving, you hear him scream, don't forget to mention your shitty behavior during the fight.
I'm getting this man fired. I don't care.
All right. This guy should. Yeah, he's either getting
Audience
fired.
going full Karen.
He's either getting fired or he's going to be working in the latrine the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, audience is probably very tired right now. You're in the middle of the night. You haven't slept. You had a fight. You probably were meditating for a while and then you fell asleep for 5 minutes and woke up. Audience is getting a little bit grumpy.
Audience freaking saved this entire dwarven night.
That's what I'm saying. Audience is getting grumpy.
We got
Respect.
to get bored.
I deserve respect.
And he keeps saying as you're
Thank
going
you.
back up the shaft. While this elevator is going up, you just hear audience mumbling under his breath.
Never ever get
I
the
need
chicken right.
respect. No, damn.
I kind of walk. I step a foot back.
Boys in Temple of the Dragon by them saving their asses, the king of their Alright.
Audience, why don't we just take a deep breath? We'll get back to the garden. You can have lots of Jello or something, and then take a nice long nap.
Jello.
I will, right as soon as I tell Bran about Fourth and needing latrine duty for the next couple weeks.
Oh yeah, wasn't there like special Jello or something there?
Oh, yes.
Audience really likes spicy Jello.
Oh yeah.
It's a spicy gelatin coming from the
The
southern region
jalapeno
of the
Jello.
world. And the audience discovered that this is his favorite dish ever because of a natural 20.
Alright.
Yeah, Varunak is just looking at you. Audience, they say that it calms when you breathe in natural air. You just see him shake like this. Try and get a little bit of scent of nature from his leaves. Go on, smell it.
Oranak, I'm not in the mood.
Oh, okay.
And yes, I purposely pronounced the name wrong as I always do. But this time was maybe a little more purposeful.
All right. Well, George, come here. I'm sure you'll appreciate it. And he starts shaking again.
I'll let him do it and then smell my hands afterwards. And I'll be like, it smells the same.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, his smells fresher.
Can I do it to you and see if it smells good?
Don't touch me with those hands, which you just touch poo. I mean, if you want to rub your hands under my feet, I think I can absorb it, but not the bark. Alright.
Alright.
You go back up. It takes a little bit of time, and Remy, you have this feeling of being ever more comfortable as you go up and up and up. There's always this moment of the light growing brighter and brighter as you're going past one of the openings and then growing dark. And oh yeah, that's right. There was more than one. There was one. Oh yeah, that's right. All right. How many was there? Six? Yes. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Why aren't we moving? 6. All right. So with Remy,
Imagine this elevator breaking.
with Remy looking like he needs a nicotine break, as they're slowly arriving at the ground level of this. You see, as always, the commotion of this mine being mined out. Dwarves going, take a break, some going to work, a few of them going to the infirmary. But you see Batik there as soon as you arrive. Ah, I see you're back. So, how's everything been going?
Well, I think we got the information we came for. So
Good.
we'll bring that back to our partner, our business partners, and they'll probably get back to you with whatever you have, what they need.
Good. And are the news good about what you found?
We don't know. We're just the analysts.
Oh.
We don't actually like.
Right.
We just, yeah, it needs to be looked at.
Right. I understand. Well, I hope you will not keep us in the dark too long. I'm sorry.
That's not our
Maybe at those
business.
words, just hugs his lantern.
when he says this and he sees Remy's reaction, you just... Sorry, I know you're not too comfortable with darkness. But anyway, I hope you'll be giving us news pretty soon.
I hopefully
You'll all look pretty tired. I know it's still a modest installation, but we can always accommodate. You will not have to pay anything.
The dwarf. Talk about the dwarf.
We appreciate it, but I think we're gonna try and head back and get a good night's sleep. Get the information as soon as possible.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You were saying something about a dwarf.
Oh, I just thought you might want to mention to your brother that I know your people are known for their hospitality, and I was disappointed to receive such a harsh greeting by this certain dwarf named Forthen down the mine, especially because of the business relationship and kindnesses we've done for this mine in the past, and that perhaps he should just know about that. And then that's all.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, he did just have his latrine exploded, and also
Jorg, if you
now
don't
his
shut up,
mind-
I'm gonna hit you.
Hey, you know what? I don't want this guy punished just because he was having a stressful day. All right?
Wasn't having a stressful day. He
was. He just found out his mind
Did
might
he
be
take
haunted.
care of the problem? We took care of the problem.
Yeah, and now he has to work down there with potentially some strange creatures we just unlocked with our technology.
We didn't, though. I mean, that's the whole point of the extra machine is we didn't.
Well, we probably didn't.
So what
You guys hear the voice of a child? Dad, can you stop fighting?
So what I'm understanding is it's a complex situation. I will make sure to settle everything, get every information about the situation, and of course I will settle the thing. Thank you for bringing it up to my attention. And if it's true they do not have a latrine down there, oh goodness, I think I'll have to settle this right now. Thank you very much. And he runs off at a jogging pace.
Jorg, is your goal in life to sabotage me?
My goal in life is to make sure that people don't go punished unjustly. And sure, if he's an asshole, he can be an asshole. Don't get him fired for it, though.
Wasn't gonna get fired. He just was gonna get
Yeah, he can have a
latrine
talking
time.
to, and he can clean up the latrine stuff.
But you spilled the beans, Jorg, about the things that are down there. He didn't know.
I didn't even care about that. It's just don't.
Shouldn't he know about that?
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. Spill the beans. Are you trying to hide the fact that could be dangerous? I mean, they are minors, so it's like life is dangerous for them. But still, they should know if there's something funky going on.
Yeah.
Georg, stick
All right,
up
we
your
just-
rights and minors
Everybody
everywhere.
ready to go? Y'all need a nap.
As
Jorg is the union.
all right, you get Ogunak who said, yes, everyone needs a nap. That's probably a very good idea. He takes Remy's hand. Come on, the exit is this way. He starts dragging Remy in the direction of the exit.
Alright, we still gotta go down to the portal. Let's go. Don't forget the horse, the cart.
Well, he's going to be grateful that you actually thought of him. You won't know it. Jorg might, but you won't know. Audience should buy a dog. Dog is always grateful that you're there. All right. So go outside and you notice, oh goodness, it's still night. Then you realize just how late it is, and oh, this is not gonna be pleasant tomorrow. We're gonna have a
No.
late night. Oh.
We can sleep during the day. because we have nothing to do.
And is it even day? You're not even sure. You're still not sure if there's actually a real day and night cycle in the garden. There's a simulated one, but you're not sure if there's an actual one.
All right, let's go.
All right. Grab the cart. Make your way back inside. And oh yeah, it's 15 minutes to go back to the town, so it's about 15 minutes. All right, I'm gonna have well, everyone make a Constitution saving throw, just because of the fatigue.
Ooh, 9.
Technically being 11. You are 10 feet from me
Oh, 11.
on the cart.
Sorry for sabotaging you.
20.
23.
Damn.
20.
Okay. Remy.
Ramey's tired. He got a 7.
All right. Well, exactly that. And Jorg, because of audience's presence, you do not fall asleep in the 15 minutes it takes to go from where the cart is to the portal. Audience is still a bit mad, so that's why he's got a good surge of adrenaline from the fact
I'm just staring angrily at Jorg, and Jorg is tired. He's like, I can't fall asleep.
He's just like trying not to look at audience and just like, go drive the horses. Don't mind me.
I'm too caught up trying to test if I could light stuff on fire with my gloves. Just like using both my fingers and just being like, I have my silk up and I'm just like, zzz, 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 zzz.
And Remy just falls asleep after 5 minutes. Even though the cart is... You just see Remy... Wow.
He had a stressful time down there.
I grab his decanter of endless water just to keep it handy. Toby's giving me a little anxiety there.
I mean, think how easy it will be for me to light bonfires now if I could light stuff on fire with these gloves.
And you could have tested
What?
it with the dynamite storage that they had inside the mine. Alright, so you easily make your way back to the garden. And Remy, within your mind, it's sort of like, there's a lot of movement, and then suddenly you're floating on a cloud. And it's actually the smooth surface of the inside of the huge bay where all of the carts are in, and then the floor is very smooth, and you're all there. You're all back in the garden. You got a few gnomes that arrive and request the scanning equipment. Do you hand it?
Yes. No.
Yes. No.
Were we supposed to give it to the gnomes, or were we supposed to give it to...
You don't know.
Alright, I'm calling him.
Not give it to the gnomes. Yeah.
Calling him.
This time he answers much quicker. Yes, yes.
Did you want us to drop off the equipment with the gnomes or with you?
Hold on, I'm thinking. No, it's better if you give it directly to me. I mean, I'd rather get a look at the data before they do.
Okay.
If you say that
I'll
it summoned the monster, I don't want to have to deal with monster infestation by the morning.
Alright. I'll turn to the gnome. Sorry, he wants it directly.
You notice a visible disappointment in the eyes of the gnomes looking at you. You even hear one turning around and say, but it's entertaining.
I feel like I did that perfectly too. Where it's like the audience is just like, yeah, no, wait, one second. One second. Alright, I guess we'll go drop it off with him now and then we'll go to bed.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The garden is an extremely safe place, so nothing's gonna happen except running into someone. That's everything that can happen. You can easily get the equipment back to Carthane. You know where his shop is. It's gonna take a while walking all the way over there and then back, but other than that, nothing big happens. Warden offers help getting Remy to his room, and for the rest of you who can still walk because they haven't fallen asleep, you can easily all make your way back to your room and have a very nice, restful sleep. And this is...
I imagine this is how it feels when you're going with like your grandfather to go fishing at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're just getting back.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to get back to bed.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. My uncle never took me fishing. He's the only one who would have, and he never did. He promised to, but he didn't do.
They always take you so early in the morning.
Yeah, that's why I never went.
Yeah.
I believe he was... I don't remember what it's called in English. I'll try to figure it out during the break. Alright, so, like I just said, we are going to a break. And as always, no one's saying anything in chat, so you get the ducks while...
Ducks.
That's
while we go on our break. So, see you back in 15 minutes, and have a nice marsh until we get back there. Back from there.
Hell yeah.
Alright. See you in 15 minutes. Bye.
Peace.
Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to Drakenmemoria. Haha! Just in case you didn't remember who we were. No, it was because of habits. Alright, you were patient with the frogs. Now you get to hear the lovely voice of our players. And I know it's only lovely for a handful of people. Alright, so...
Hey, I'll have you know that I have the voice of an angel.
Angel had different voices in my mind, but you know, it's
The Bible doesn't have any recordings, so
well, that's
we can't
true.
really
That's
know.
true. Maybe they sound like
Danny DeVito.
Aztec. I was gonna go with Aztec death whistle, but yeah, sure.
Lucifer, as voiced by Danny DeVito.
Oh, wow. It's been so long since I saw that movie. Alright. So, you easily all find your way back to your room and you can finally get some rest. Remy, you don't even wake up while this warden is slowly getting you to your room. It feels like you're just floating. He just takes your hand and put it on the door. It opens. He takes you inside, puts you down, and then you're good. Audience, you have the longest way before you get to sleep because you have to go all the way to where Caharthane's shop is, unless you want to call him and tell him to come where you are. In that case, you'll have to wait until he comes.
I'm just going. I was fine. I rolled a 23 on my Constitution test. I can.
Yeah, no, you still have the adrenaline of being mad with Jorg and the dwarf.
In that whole shitty situation.
And besides, you have a chance of going into the Arboretum, which is always a very interesting and pleasant place. You most likely meet on the way Sarn, because for some reason he's always in someone's path whenever you enter the forest. And he's always walking the path. Not sure why. but he's there. And finally, you get to his shop. Knock on the door. It's the middle of the night there. Here also, but you see him just pull aside some of the curtain and yes, yeah. Come in. Locks the door.
Here's the equipment.
So there was a monster, you say? How was it?
Interesting. It was similar. It felt similar to some of the other almost like elementals we'd fought before, but like a little different. Strong. It was pretty strong. Like it was definitely stronger than most of the other elementals we'd fought. Immune. It seemed immune to lightning and thunder damage and all physical damage that was dealt to it. It didn't seem to have any effect to it. And here, I'll pull out. These are some of the little rocks that came off of it once we were able to kill it.
Oh, nice.
Right. Raimi went to bed, right?
Yes. Raimi went to bed.
Yeah. Visual go.
Raimi fell asleep on the way there.
I cannot show
Oh,
the
right.
shard.
He's...
I don't even know if Raimi told us.
It's so much easier when he's here and he can just do like the illusion thing, and then you can see it. And then...
Oh, I thought you were talking about the heart, and I'm like, I don't even think Raimi told us he found like a heart of the thing.
No, just the. You never have to describe things to people because he just shows them.
So, all right. So you're showing him some of the shard pebbles. Is that it?
Yeah, shard pebbles.
Oh, interesting. Can I keep one?
Would you just analyze it, or?
Well, of course, but you never know what's going to happen when you analyze it. It could blow up.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're analyzing.
I'll give him one. It's fine.
Thanks. All right. He takes a little handkerchief, wraps it inside. Make sure it doesn't blow up before you get to analyze it.
If it isn't destroyed and you find what you want from it, I would like it back, but otherwise it's fine.
Yeah, sure, it can be arranged. Does it have to be whole? Sometimes they can.
That's what I said. If it gets destroyed, it's okay.
But there's different kind of destroyed. There's destroyed pulverized. There's destroyed few bits and pieces. There's destroyed the changed shape. I don't know.
Honestly, even if it's still dust, if you feel like it's still usable, we can take it because we can still use even the shard dust. With our weapons,
okay. That's good. And what if it changes state? Would you mind if I bring you back a cloud in a bottle?
No, that would be cool.
Okay, good.
As long as you clarify if you know what it does.
Yeah.
So you followed audience?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, of course. I mean, I've seen people try and inhale a whole lot of things. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be good for your health if you tried to inhale this.
It might actually be okay for me. Stuff like it'd be okay.
You never know. Maybe, yeah. No. Also, yeah. I'll test for that also.
You figured out the way to make energy drinks for audience.
I don't know. He takes a plate. Could you spit in that, please?
Energized. I feel the power. Just get addicted to it. It's good stuff.
No problem. I can try and test if there's a good match with you. He takes a small plate. And could you spit in that? It'll help me.
Sure. I'll spit in it.
Okay, good. I'm gonna go make test with this. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna mix well with your saliva. Or blow up the back store. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Well,
you're
a lightning breath, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it could explode. Lightning. You never know.
I am. All right. Well, I'm off to bed. Have a good night.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing with us. We don't need to sleep. We just need to drink a little bit. And he takes that. He takes a mug filled with that strange liquid that when you drank it, Fisher, you got super high for 10 minutes. Then so slow you weren't barely able to talk. You just need to drink a little bit of this and work all night. And he takes a good chug of it. And he goes in the back store.
That guy's no joke.
Hey, we were made to fight until we drop. And he goes in the back store. You hear, "Don't touch anything in the store."
I did not plan to. I'm gonna head out, head back to my quarters, and pass out.
All right. What about Fisher?
I'll probably go back to my quarters and try and sleep again.
Ah, the famous wisdom saving throw. Now the DC has been reset because last time you succeeded. So.
Oh dear.
Alright, I just used my lucky coin,
Yes.
so I'm not gonna be able to. Oh my god, it's changing. That's right, -1. 18.
Oh, it's still pretty good. All right, so you go somewhere specific or
Probably just back to my room.
your own personal room? All right, so get back in your room. Audience gets back in his room. Tobiashi and Jorg, unless you want to do something before you go to bed. It's literally the middle of the night, so unless you want to go celebrate with someone in the tavern, there's no shop open. There's always the Arboretum. And there's probably someone doing research in the Knowledge Quarter. But that's about as fun as it gets.
Garden strip club?
Construct striptease. Take the top off. No, not the entire body, please.
Jorg is not turned on by constructs, so he's probably just gonna go to bed.
What about Tobiashi? You're muted.
I go to Tentacle Cat. No, I'm just playing. I'm gonna. Sorry, that's a joke from my other campaigns. It's been in every one. I'm just gonna go to bed.
Okay. Your own quarters, or do you want to go sleep outside in the Arboretum, or?
Now I'll go. I'll go out into the garden and I'll make a hammock in between some trees, and go to bed in my silk.
Okay.
Just to see the artificial stars in the night sky.
Okay. Well, everyone goes to sleep. So, Remy, Tobiashi, and Jor. The night cradles you in its silence, and you have a very restful, peaceful night. You probably wake up late next morning, but you're pretty sure everyone shares that problem in the group. And it's the garden. There's always someone up, so doesn't matter if you wake up at noon. For Fisher and audience, however. Fisher, your night is a bit weirder. You manage to fall asleep, and once again your attention is drawn toward this little point of light. So far away, you can't make out what it is. It's darkness everywhere. You can't even see what you're standing on. Right now, it feels like you're trying to peer into nothingness, as the dot of light seems to be trying to convey information, but you can't make it out. As if something was muffling everything. Keep concentrating very hard on it. It takes everything you have, but eventually you manage to focus on that element of reverse echo. And you manage to push that little extra moment, and you hear the reverse echo of this voice repeating, "Help me. Help me." And then everything becomes blurry again, as if something is muffling that sound, as if a will was muffling that sound.
Can I try to focus on what's muffling it? Like try and find something else other than the little light in the void, or if it's the void itself.
Make a... Well, if you're trying to use your intuition to try and pinpoint something else, it would be wisdom. If you're trying to concentrate on something like the sound, the light, what might be around it, it's going to be intelligence.
I would like to use intelligence.
Okay.
Just straight intelligence?
Yep. It's really just concentration.
Well, doesn't matter. 'Cause there it is. I rolled a 2, so 5.
All right. You try and see something that would help you understand what is muffling this sound. Your concentration, your will, simply tries to peer through the darkness. And you can't understand what you're seeing. It feels like a cage, like a prison. And the moment your attention starts focusing extremely strongly on this, you are yanked out of this as if someone just punched you in the face. And you get this feeling of, that was the will of something. Something
So I got like
saw you.
forced out.
Something saw you peering through the darkness, and its gaze, the simple fact that it looked in your direction, hit you like being hit by a cart.
One of those stealth levels in a video game where if the spotlight hits you, you just lose. Yeah,
You feel the this is one thing that has never happened before. Although I'm not giving you a problem with exhaustion on the next day, right now, as you're waking up from this backlash of something, you feel exhausted. You feel as if you've given everything you could in a fight, and you were pushed to the limit of your ability. If you were human, if you were living, I'd say right now, you'd be panting as if you'd ran for an hour straight. but you're not. You're a
Alright.
machine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just lie down and try and rest for a bit.
You see, for you, Fan is running like wild.
Yeah.
You can't help. You can't help but to feel that something needs your help somewhere. Some, not just need, it's calling.
If you call out my name.
It's Zach's job, Sam. What are you doing?
Well, we're starting
I'm
to
waiting for the
see
musical
some...
session where everybody sings everything.
I'm not good enough for it, but I'd love to try it if I was.
I'd like to attack with a divine smite.
It's gonna be the play episode.
I'm sure it would draw a lot of attention. Audience. Audience. Although while you were trying to meditate in the cave, it didn't feel like you drew a lot of attention. While you are sleeping now, you probably feel a little different about the situation.
Okay.
You fall asleep, and for the most part, it's a very peaceful falling asleep. You notice that there was a pouch on your desk, and you know that it's the money that you're due from something that was sold, but you're so tired. You just, I'm gonna look at it tomorrow. And you just fell asleep. But while you're dreaming, while you're in this state, this altered state, there is this very familiar moment that you've experienced a few times before. You're greeted by a sunrise over a mountain. But you're sitting under a tree. You have a book in your hand. Well, it's a bit odd, but you know, you've took time reading. You're a priest, you've read before. But actually, there are two books.
Oh.
You look at them and you open them. Looking at the images, it feels like they completely fill your field of view. And you see those two stories. And just like a dream can sometimes play tricks with you, it feels like you know the story in each book. One book, and you see all of the images appearing in front of you, talks about a young adventurer. He arrives at the crossroad and stumbles, falls to his knees, but you see two persons in front of him stretching out their hands, sort to help him get up. One of them is going on one path in front of him, and the other one on another. And you remember some of the detail of the two books. Oh yeah, that's what's special about these books. It's the point of view of a single person, depending on who he decides to go with. One book tells what happens if he takes the person on the right.
The red pill.
If he takes the hand of the person going to the right, his life is fulfilled. He gets everything he ever wanted. He finds glory. He finds riches, fame. His accomplishments are many. He is surrounded by friends. He fights for the light, pushes the ideals of good and the light in ways that everyone around the world remembers. He becomes a legend.
Solid dude.
One day, peacefully, he dies, surrounded by his friends and people who actually love him. And his name lives on. The other one has a very different life, taking the hand of the person going to the left. His adventures are hard. He sees friends suffering because of his choices. Some of them dying because of his choices. The hardship he endures are insane. Many people would simply break at everything he would endure during his life. Some people even resent him for his accomplishments. He makes enemies, powerful enemies, which try and destroy everything he has and he is. At the end of his life, barely anyone knows him. But he has pushed the darkness away in ways that no one could ever rival. He has fought against evils which most people would not even dare to dream of. He has done more in every way possible for the light and for good than the other person has in the book, at a terrible cost. But nevertheless, he has done more. And although not many know of it, a few do. And they remember him after his death. When all of the story comes back to you, you look up and you see two persons stretching out their hand. One to your right and one to your left.
Yeah.
Which
That was
one do you
predictable.
choose?
Both.
So what I'm curious, if I choose the one to the left, I'm just killing you guys. No, I'm
Yeah.
Well, at minimum, making them suffer. But not just them. All of your friends may suffer from it. Some of them may even die.
Who's who, though?
But the accomplishment, the darkness that you will push back, what you will do for the light and good, is the stuff of legend, which no one will ever talk about. The other one, yes, his life is incredible, but it is a fraction in meaningfulness to the one of the left.
audience isn't stupid. He knows what the right choice is supposed to be in his mind, but he's also like, do I want to make this choice?
It's just, I just want to imagine just like looking in one direction. It's like, oh, come on.
He's like, yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, I know what I should pick, but come on, man. Like, then with kind of a sigh, but a resignation, he will go and take the person of their hand on the left, because at the end he is a paladin, and making the light, fighting for the light and what's right is the most important thing to him over all other things, even fame or friendship or any of that.
Who needs girls? When you help the light.
But he's not happy about it.
The moment you touch the hand of the person to the left, you wake up. And you feel like you've made one heck of a decision right now.
Well, Adi just feels like he has to try and now... The only part he didn't like about it, and I'll tell you the only part, he didn't actually care about the choice. He knows sacrifice is part of adventuring. Like, his friends died and all that. That's tough. Happens, though. Like, he's seen it happen already with kind of a friend from the garden. He knows it's part of adventuring. The only part he didn't like is that he wasn't remembered. Because that's part of his ego. So now he just is like, all right, I just have to make sure that part is still... I just have to work harder to make sure I'm remembered wherever I go.
And
Forge your own destiny.
One thing that audience should probably also know, because of how the two books are made, the difference between his friend being there when he dies and his friends not being there when he dies is the decision he took. You will be in some way responsible for their suffering and their death.
You guys are all fucked.
We chose the wrong
that's
party.
You know, shit.
No, we just cut to a later dream further down the line, and audience, like, it's raining, by the way. It's dark, stormy, rainy, and audience is on his knees carrying the limp, lifeless body of Raimi.
No! Baby.
Nobody else is there, so you don't know what happened to everybody else, but
Yeah, you don't know who will suffer and who will die. You just know that
In the
some
end,
of
it
them
turns
will.
out Audience is corrupted by power, and Jorg is the one directly responsible for all his friends dying.
Alright, well, audience is gonna need to do some day drinking.
It's 5
After
o'clock
that.
somewhere.
Audience is gonna head to the tavern for some early morning stiff day drinking after that dream.
Alright, well, you get your night of rest, although probably restless for the second part. A little bit restless, and then... Oh, God damn it. But... morning comes, you all get your long rest. And, well, as usual, you always eventually find yourself in the tavern. For some reason, audience is there first.
Audience is drinking heavily.
And he doesn't have a plate with a little bit of spicy gelatin inside of it. He's got a bowl. And he's pouring a little bit of beer in it, and
He's just gonna glance. I'm just gonna glance up at everyone when they enter and just kind of shake my head as if trying to remember their faces. Go back to
So I guess we're not going out to do any more quests today.
You guys should never leave with me again. You'll all die. You hear audience mumble from his table.
well, I guess we shouldn't go on quests, because don't we have that thing we have to do in a couple of days, weeks,
Yeah.
months?
just to twist the blade even more inside of you, audience, you get to see some of the people that you've started to see as friends from the garden. some of the adventurers, and oh no, not the, I really hope not him because he's nice.
I just see everyone now with like a tombstone over their head.
But also, I think he's also like put together like a small tier list. It's like, okay, if some of them have to die,
Listen,
Who do
Jor
I
can
throw
go.
under the
Jor
bus?
can go before Remy.
So, you look at all of them, and then you look in a corner, and you notice that Corinth is on the second level drinking. Oh no, not Grandpa. You know, he's nice. He's your master for paladin things. Then you hear someone mention Amiali's name. No!
Not her.
not my wife.
Well, whatever that is,
You know,
I think we'll be
audience
fine.
crying.
As long as Jord keeps getting on audience's nerves, then he won't be a friend and he won't die.
Genius.
Jor making the long play.
We'll just be acquaintances.
George's playing the movie for us.
Hey, I call bullshit. Jorg is playing with DM information.
You know what? I'm just like, whatever that was about, audience. But we have more stuff to figure out. We should probably rest and practice until the tournament or whatever it is that we have to go to.
Yeah, the event is in 9 days.
We should probably think about now instead of later, or whatever you're thinking about, audience.
Toby, just know that I will remember you fondly.
I'm not dying. What are you talking about?
It is hard to be friends with the child of destiny. I'll go back.
Destiny, you could make your own destiny. Don't you know, what do you hear? What are you talking about?
It's too soon. It's too soon.
Destiny.
And then audience will walk out of the
Destiny.
tavern.
No escaping.
Just as you're walking out, you see Temptress crossing your eyes, going inside.
No, the world can't go without that ass.
Peppers probably will just give me a weird look because I'll just look at her and then start weeping and then run away.
She looks at all of you. Is there something someone of you has done to him? I've never really seen him quite upset like this.
I don't think so.
We got here and he was like
People
that,
not
so
this.
he was saying that he's gonna miss us or something like that, but I don't know. Talking
I'm
about
gonna-
destiny or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up to the tavern keeper,
Okay.
and just ask, how much did he have?
A lot.
How long has he been here?
Not long, but a lot of quantity.
Well, he's been here for about 3/4 of an hour. And I do believe he's been using magic to not fall over from drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen some of you arrive here and start drinking very early on, especially the two dwarves. But, I've never seen someone being drunk after 45 minutes.
All right. Thanks. I'd head back to everybody else. All right. Yeah, we've got some time before the thing.
Did someone go talk to him or?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go.
I'm not good at that kind of thing. You could go do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not either. But you know,
I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. I don't think we should both go. Maybe Remy should go with you or something.
Amy's already
Right.
gone.
I could go.
I look over. I'm like, oh well, it looks like he's already going. Well, I have a ball to go check on, and if you get him in his right state of mind, you should ask if we've gotten paid for the stuff that we sold.
I think, yeah, I think that can
Yeah.
that can wait a day.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right.
There may be a large sack of gold just sitting in audience quarters right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Hey, Jorg, you wanna go train with me? You go
Sure.
figure some stuff out
All
while they
right.
figure out what's wrong with the audience or whatnot. Whatever he's talking about.
I do want to go check on audience real quick.
So basically,
Okay, I'll wait for you.
everyone is going to see audience except Tobiashi. So it looks like Tobiashi's gonna
I'll-
survive.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be there, but I'll be there in the background. I'll just be like standing away from everyone. Like, I don't want to make this worse.
Hey audience, how's it going?
You don't even know where audience went.
Oh no, I don't. You did leave, didn't you? I wasn't paying.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. We can go train.
We'll find him later.
yeah.
Audience.
I'll talk to
for
him.
anyone
we gotta go
who
look for
wants
him.
to
You
know,
have a
Remy might
dog.
been close enough to follow him. I don't know if
I know.
anyone else is. Audience
I wanted
went to the hospital
to-
to see Tasuo.
No, Tasuo, your friend.
You show up
already
and he just
started.
flatlines.
Yeah, I was gonna try to cheer my dog, but guess he won't.
No, I mean,
I
you
mean,
have
you
a
could go
dog.
look
A
for
dog
him.
can look for people.
It shouldn't be hard.
Oh yeah, my dog. Yeah, I'll tell my dog to go look for him, and in the meantime, I'll go with Toby.
I mean, we could
Just
go
plop
look
the
for him,
dog
but
down.
I don't.
Go find
I
audience.
don't think I should
and he
go talk
runs
to him.
off.
Yeah. All right. We can go look for him too.
But we'll go look for him. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh.
I'd make the situation any better.
Head up to audience's room and grab like a sock or something for for my dog to follow.
He's
The
been
smell
eating
of-
out of a bowl. Unless you took the bowl away, you can probably just have the dog sniff what's inside the bowl and find audience.
Go
Fine.
to my room, you notice a large sack of unopened money.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'll give him something for him to smell, and then we'll go look for audience.
There are tears on the table. The dog can just lick them, and he'll know where to go. So, audience, you probably get to the infirmary before all day get there. They're just a few. They're just a few feet behind you. So, but still, you get there first.
I don't know they're following
No.
me, so I'm just going in to ask if I can see Tasuo or how he's doing.
So. It takes a little moment, and Carmita comes and talks to you. He's the warden, head medical officer. Your friend still hasn't woken up. The shock was rather impressive. But I'm mostly confident he will pull out of it. I am a bit more worried about his condition. He may remain weakened for the rest of his life. I can't say that I know much about the anatomy of his species. He's the only one we've ever had on file, on record.
see.
But for now, he's holding on.
Okay. Can I see him or no?
Yes, sure, as long as you don't... Well, you probably won't. That's a gnomish thing. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Alright. I'll go see him. Does he look any different from when I last saw him? Like any better, any different? Or...
He still looks pretty thin. Like someone tried to kill him with just necrotic energy. But he does look a little better, as if he'd regained a few hit points, but still not completely there. You've never seen him looking quite so fragile. Helpless. You know right now that he's most likely not aware that you're there. Mm-hmm. That's a bit weird because he was always aware of you being there.
That's okay. I'll just kind of sit down next to him. I'll be like, my friend, I have learned that there may be a hard path in front of me filled with suffering of both myself and my friends. And I now realize that looking at you and that I never really knew, did you have a family? Did you have other friends besides those in the garden? Do you have those that will remember you and your sacrifice you made if you do not pull through? And just wanted to come here after learning these things just to let you know that no matter what happens, no matter how you turn out, I'll remember you and I'll do my best to make sure people know of how great you were and what the sacrifices you made for the cause of good.
He doesn't react.
Yep.
He doesn't wake up from it.
No, I didn't think he would. This is his audience.
The little object on his table, however, in his meditating form, which is Tassul's artifact. Just take a moment. When you're talking, he's just like this, and suddenly he just opens one eye, and he looks at you for a moment. There's something a bit odd in the way that he's looking at you. You sort of have a flashback, a bit of how Terry looks at Fisher from time to time.
Interesting. Okay.
And he just looks at you again, and he gives you a little nod. One that sort of feels like he's saying, I understand. And thank you. And then he takes his position, his meditating position, and seems to become statue again.
Audience would probably stay in there until his friends found him, just kind of looking at Tassul and just kind of contemplating, working through everything. Also sobering up slightly.
Well, you probably don't have enough time to sober up, as they're going to be here probably in 10 minutes, and it takes about half an hour to start processing the first few ounces of alcohol. So.
I'll let you know how much I'm sobering up. I am 21.
Wow.
I'm working through it.
The constant crying just pushed all of the alcohol out of your eyes.
Yeah, my tears burn more than usual.
It's just a fun fact. Apparently, Drakenborn have two livers, one just below, but then also one surprisingly high up their body that is excreted through their tear ducts.
And apparently, Jorg, you don't have a lot of difficulty finding audience because you see a dwarf just collecting the alcoholic tears on the ground, going in the same direction as you relatively easily find where audience is. The dog points you in a good direction, and then eventually you sort of see the pattern in where he's going. Oh, there's something written on the wall. Infirmary. Oh, okay. Then he turns left, and oh, infirmary again. I think he's going into the infirmary.
Oh, audience.
Maybe he just want to find a quick way to get undrunk. You know, I'm sure they do. They have some things. Stomach washing things. Here, eat.
Here's where the pate thinner was.
Here, eat this miniature gelatinous cube for your stomach. After probably, well, since you had a little bit of time, I'd say probably after 10 minutes, which would say, oh, okay, from the tavern to there until they get there, yeah, you started sobering up. It was at least half an hour. So, 10 minutes after, you all come inside of the infirmary. You do see a few people injured. You recognize a few gnomes. You don't know their names. They're just some gnomes, but you recognize them. They're gnomes, judging from how they're dressed, probably from their research and development level. You see one dwarf being treated for a burn wound. An adventurer who's just having his leg fixed. It appears to have broken his leg for some reason. Then there's this little closed up place, completely at the end of the, completely at the back of the infirmary, where under the curtains you recognize Audience's feet. Because of his feet, he doesn't have boots, so he's.
Which is incidentally was why the dog was very confused when you told them to find Audience's socks and couldn't find any.
Oh, you see where Audience is.
Picture of Audience's feet, please.
I mean, Dragonborns are loved by the foot fetish community. They always are barefoot. So, you easily find Audience.
Hey, audience. How you doing?
We're doing okay.
You
There's a dog.
have a
licking
bad
your
dream? Yeah. I'm gonna have him try to cheer up audience too.
I'll give the dog a little pet. Dogs are cute. I'll be like, nah, not so much of a dream as a choice, and the choice I made was the right one, but it may not have, it may have also many effects that are not what I would want.
Ah. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You're all there. If you follow Jorg, you're all there.
I heard you saying something about destiny.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you should put too much stake in that.
I mean, destiny always comes from choices, and you can always affect your destiny with your choices, but oftentimes the results end up being the same. You just walk different paths to get there.
I'm not good at this. Just cheer up.
He turns around. Fisher, your turn.
I'm just sitting against the wall listening to whatever is happening right now.
Well, I think that depending on the path you take, even if the result is the same, the consequences aren't.
No. The different paths and choices I take, the consequences will change, but the consequences will still happen. Just to different people, different things. So who knows? Every choice I make, I know that, well, I may be saving one person, I may be harming another.
I mean, that's a rather egotistical way to view stuff.
That is, what if
Like, the world, my experience at least, shit happens. You do what you can, and deal with the next shit that happens. If you spend too much time worrying about what could happen, then you're gonna mess up in the present.
You are right. However, I must weigh every decision I make with more caution now.
All right.
You know what? Just because, just go ahead. Like Raimi will, walk up to audience and put, one of his taloned hands over, I guess it would be over audience's left pectoral, and say in audience's own words, "May the dragon's glory and light always bless your path, and may you follow it with strength, courage, and honesty."
Thank you, Remy. You are right. I will stick to the path. I will stick to my teachings. I will stick to my followings, and who knows? Even gods have their limitations. Perhaps destiny is only set by, or perhaps there are those who try and set destiny for you, but you don't have to follow them. As Annie said, many gods are interested in me, and some may have dark intentions that I don't even know about. Perhaps they are just trying to control me through fear or through worry. I should not fall into that, as they are only finite powers, even in their infinite, in their own infinity. All right, I will keep going with what I believe is right and do the best for that.
Also, what's all this talk about you and your choices? Like, we're all here. We're all gonna be here. Right? You don't need to bear it alone.
I know.
All right.
I know.
Jorg finally finds a way to get back into the conversation, transforms into a grizzly bear.
Audience isn't gonna straight up just tell Fisher that he now believes he is the person of destiny and their decisions will definitely matter. And he was like, at the end of the day, it's gonna be up to him to make the final say. Not that audience didn't already kind of believe that beforehand in a way, but it's more finalized.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't think Fisher would take that well if he said that.
I mean, even as we speak, it's getting increasingly harder to maintain all of audience's ego in this infirmary room.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if Destiny's calling, you should probably be training.
Yeah. I feel, yeah, you should be.
Incidentally, your orb starts ringing. Ding, ding, ding. It reads, caller ID Destiny?
It's one of the
It's just an
strippers from the
adventure.
Dwarven
It's just an
Strip.
adventure called Destiny.
I was gonna say. You see the face of a gnome. Hi, it's Destiny. You've ordered.
Sadness.
Sorry, wrong
Ordered
number.
2 toppings, large pizza with extra mushrooms. Where should I drop this off again? Alright. I guess we should discuss what our plans are for our next, since we still have a bit of time till our event. Do we want to go on, like, another quest, or do we want to just use this time to, like, train up our skills and just spar and, improve within the garden?
I could.
With the garden portal
could-
system, you have access to every major city inside of a few minutes.
I
could
think-
take a day or two, but then I kind of want to go scout around in the capital for some stuff.
Okay.
I think we should rest and treat ourselves. We've been through a lot without taking a break. I even think the last quest was a little too much for a lot of us, because I don't know. It's been a lot since you've actually freed me from where I was, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been going nonstop since before that. Maybe a little bit of rest is acceptable. Rest with training, but yeah, going to a capital sounds nice.
Well,
And-
I wouldn't be going to relax. I would be working. But like,
No.
I don't really need everybody to come with me for that. Like, I could just go do that on my own.
Obviously, yes.
But yeah, I think I agree with Toby. We should take a bit and don't. Yeah.
Probably for you, audience, the perspective is slightly different because you have a moment of, yeah, we've been through a lot. Oh God, and the book says it's just gonna get so much worse.
And then your orb reminds you that you have not taken advantage of the garden's therapy services yet.
Yeah.
Hello. Temptress reported that she saw you crying while leaving the tavern. Well, she says that many men have cried when looking at her before. This felt different. Are you interested in our 1-800?
she has purchased for you a one-person complete massage treatment by our world-famous gnomes.
Oh god.
Actually,
Walk in there and there's just this huge contraption. It's
Or-
like, what is
now that I'm
that?
thinking about it, like, wouldn't that just be like the weirdest, like, universal equivalent of like buying somebody a drink? Just like, I bought you a massage ticket.
Yeah.
I bought you a therapy session.
Yo, I would be so happy if someone bought me like a massage ticket. I'd be like, that'd be awesome.
I'll walk from the back, and I'll walk in front of audience from where he's sitting, and kind of, I don't know if he's sitting. Well, are you sitting down or are you standing up?
Oh, I was sitting down because I was looking. Yeah.
All right, I'll kneel down and I'll look up at him, and I'll be like, all right, audience, I've known you for a very long time.
3
And
months.
for the time that I've been Yeah, 3 months. Well, since I knew you since we started, or since you started everything. I know that I was captured and we've been apart for a very long time. But I want you to know that this whole thing, when you say destiny, that stuff is gonna happen, and you're the only one to see this. I want to let you know, this whole thing isn't just on you. We've accepted being part of your party. We're here, and I want you to know that we are not. Like, it's not all just on you. It's not about you. It's about the decisions that everybody here makes. All of us has our own destiny, even if your destiny has intertwined with ours or may affect ours. I just need you to know that you can't keep thinking on this and letting it drag you down, because it's going to affect how we as a team are going to be affected in the now. You need to not think about what's going to happen. It's about what we need to do now to protect the people that we can. And we have a job that we're doing. We need to get the army that you said we need to protect as many people as we can. And if we could do that for as much of the land as we can, then everyone should be okay. It shouldn't matter if people are going to die, even though they are going to anyways. You're not alone on this, and I want you to know that. I'll always be here for you, and I have been since the beginning, even though that I was captured for a little while. I might have doubts here and there, but I'm not going to lose hope in what we're doing. And then I'll stand up and go back to where I was.
Hold on. I'll think on it. I'll listen. All right. I'm fine. I'll be fine. It's a tough night. I guess let's just go. You guys can do what you want, relax, do what you need to do to recuperate, and we'll spend the next couple days just kind of getting back together, and then if Fisher, you want to go to the capital, do some research, that's good. If there's anything other people want to do, we can start working on that.
From inside
Sounds good.
From inside of you, Fisher, you do say, well, it's not that I think that brainless and flightless are the best companion to have, but you are going to try and investigate an organization who has put bounties on all of you. Maybe you shouldn't go alone.
He's telling you to take me and
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, no, not Jorg, Flightless,
Flightless is the bird.
Remy.
I
Bird
think Brainless
brain
is actually
Bird brain is
Brainless is
audience,
audience.
flightless is Remy.
Brainless is audience? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. As long as I'm not brainless, that's fine.
What about that guy who's doing research for us? Should we check on him?
thought he said he'd contact us when he found it.
Research.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah, the
that.
Silver-tongued Bard.
Oh, yeah. That won't... I'm expecting to hear back from him after we do our little tournament thing, or fighting.
Well,
Yeah.
in good news, I think before I left this morning, there was some money in my room. Maybe the guy sold some stuff, and maybe we got some money. We can go.
That'd
look
be
at
good.
that.
Maybe I could acquire the new home for my elemental before we enter the battle.
Yeah.
most of your object will be ready for
Yeah.
within 8 days. So
Yeah, I'll check on them a day before we go and before we go and go to the battle.
All right. I think today I'm gonna go to the library.
Yeah, I'm gonna go train in the garden, in the courtyard. Maybe challenge some people or something. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, there's
But I'm
core there.
actually relaxing. I don't know about that. I'm looking forward to relaxing. Maybe get a martini or something, you know.
Go fight that kid again. That was pretty relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go beat up some
Pretty
children.
nice.
Don't worry.
Pretty nice pawns in the arboretum. You want to go for a swim?
I mean, that's true. We could have a pool party episode. Anybody?
Fan service.
Let me just. No.
Let's have a dodgeball episode.
Us versus the party of the 5 level 20s.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oof.
So how many lives did you get?
Yeah.
All right. So with this resolution and audience partially, I think, resigning itself to his fate, but also holding on to a single hope.
Yeah.
Am I reading this right?
Yeah, we'll hold on to hope that perhaps it's just God's messing with me and I should still stay in control of my destiny to the best of my ability. But, you know, also understanding the choice he made. But yeah.
I think audience should remember that there's always more than 2 paths.
Oh, there's an infinite number of paths.
Yeah.
There's only
You don't
one
like the 2
destination.
you can
though.
see, go between them.
I could always call him that elder god from the other ancient world again and just bring him into this and he can instantly destroy everything. That's always an option.
Yeah.
He just hates your guts because you ask a god to to push him away. So there might be a little bit of problems there, but sure. I'm not against it. Right. So finally everyone gets a little bit of time to train, relax, finish things they wanted to finish, ponder on things which needs to be pondered, and research on things which needs to be researched. And so 9 days until the event of the equinox, the fall equinox arrives.
I'm excited.
And it's supposed to be a big event. The noble, Bastian, is having a place built for this. So,
Oh damn.
well, the last time you used the portal there were signs of this starting to be constructed. So, you know it's going to be massive.
In other words, think of it as a semi-Olympic event. You're just like a new stadium gets built every time they host one.
And you are hosting this. This is being hosted right next to a skyport. So nobles and rich from around the world will be there to see this event.
No pressure.
Within
And the religion of the dragon might actually start spreading outside of the Mistal Island chain. Might spread worldwide if you do well.
One thing.
Yes.
Within the 9 days, I want to battle everybody in the group as training.
Okay.
Do I want
We
to
gotta
do this
train.
on
Are
stream?
you sure about this?
Yes, I am sure. I'm positively sure.
I'd try it. I also want to
down.
battle audience, but I just want to see how owned I am.
It'll go. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We could all battle each other. So it'll go Jorg, Remy, Fisher, and then audience.
No, we'll do a like one of those. So like me against one person, and then the winner fights the winner of the other two. and
Yeah.
then, tournament style.
I'll let you decide this pyramid. Apparently, next episode is going to be the party trying to prove itself to each other. I'm not sure, but it's looking more and more like this. A huge set of duels with dual rule.
Yeah. Within the next 9 days. That's enough time.
So I'll leave
Yeah.
you to plan this because I don't want to.
Okay, we will.
All right, and with this, I think this is an interesting moment to finish today's episode. And oh, campfire is always nice for finishing this. So, with this, audience's resolution and hopes that someone's messing with him. And everyone else now aware of audience's sorrow. This is an interesting moment to finish the episode and see what's going to be there for next episode. Apparently, part of the episode is going to be dueling, but who knows what the rest will be. Alright, so with this, we'll leave you to go to bed for many people, but depending on where you are in the world, you might be waking up. So, to the rest of your day. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being with us, for watching this with us. As always, we hope we'll see you next Wednesday or Friday if you're listening to this on the rebroadcast. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, I know I keep saying it every single episode, but apparently it helps. If you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing to Twitch, or simply by spreading the word of this channel. It helps, doesn't cost anything. Well, technically following us also doesn't cost anything, but probably easier for you just to talk about us. But whichever you choose, it will be greatly appreciated, and we hope we'll see you next week. As always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Night, too.
Night.